Tierna Unruinos, and I'm here at the beautiful Anderson Abruzzo Albuquerque International Balloon Museum. I'm here with Joe Abraham Dean from Lumenscapes, based out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we're going to be having a project here at the Balloon Museum during Balloon Fiesta this year that we're really excited for everyone to experience. So Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about Lumenscapes and about what will be coming here to the museum?
Sure, I'd love to. So we've got a company called Lumenscapes. We're based out of Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's a lighting and digital media company, and we happen to kind of roll a lot of different ideas into those two fields. So one of them is actually immersive video domes. So part of what we're doing is we're building for the balloon, during the Balloon Fiesta, we're going to have out here at the Balloon Museum several domes, which one of which will be an immersive cinema. So the idea is that we're going to be projecting 360-degree images around inside of a dome, and that whole experience is actually going to be tailored around balloon flight.
Wow, that sounds really amazing. So what's the difference between this immersive dome experience with cinema compared to a traditional cinema experience?
So typically traditional cinema is like this. You're stuck in a box and you're looking through a rectangle, and the entire experience is actually within that field of view that the cinematographer determines, the director. In this case, what you do is you actually take that box and you wrap it all the way around your head, because it's a full 360-degree version of a film, and you actually are placed within the experience. Audience members in a cinema tend to be very focused in one area. This experience, you're actually looking around and you never see the entire film. So you're placed within the experience.
So if I'm coming into the dome, I'd be standing in the middle of the dome, and literally there's going to be video in 360 degrees all the way around me.
That's it.
Wow.
So as the audience sits down, what's going to happen is that we'll have some sort of a music experience. We're hoping to have some really strong sound effects to kind of engage the people as the experience starts. And you'll literally be able to follow with the chase crews. You'll be able to fly in an air balloon. You'll experience takeoff, landing, the action of a balloon flight. And
so is this for people maybe who always wanted to get into a balloon, but maybe you're a little too scared to get actually into the balloon, or and what else would it offer for people who have been into a balloon flight, but this is just something extra?
What I think we've done with this film is we've actually been able to take the audience on a journey. So it begins with being on the ground and actually taking flight. And half the action is, for somebody, for example, who has been in a balloon before and has done the flight, they may not have been able to experience what it is to chase. So we actually are with the chase crew, and we're cutting between the both locations. So it's the full experience, and I think that's the difference.
And so this technology that you work to develop for the dome, how did you get involved in it, and how did it come to New Mexico?
So I think it must have been 1997. The planetarium at the Museum of Natural History was built, and at the time it was one of 50 planetariums in the world. We were a handful of students in undergrad just working on a computational science department with Ed Angel and the CS department, basically. Well, at the time there were 50 films or 50 theaters in the world and 20 minutes of content in existence. So we were watching the same stuff over and over and over again. And one really cool thing about Dome is actually that you never see the entire experience when you watch the film. So I've seen the same films hundreds of times, and every single time I see a little bit more, or have a different experience from being in a different position in the dome, or just noticing something else. So that actually helped the 20-minute window or the 20-minute limitation. But as a group of students, we basically went into the supercomputing resources, which were built at the same time. Some of the undergrads in the program were computer science geniuses. So they were actually computer science engineers before they even finished school, and they had access to the resources. So what we would do is, at the time, we had the only portable hard drive in existence was the 20 gig iPod. So we would literally take the iPod over. We created our own custom interface to be able to access the files off the supercomputer. And when Exxon and Mobil were doing their simulation work, they would take breaks, and my friends would actually be the systems engineers who were responsible for allocating the resources. So they would we'd stop the jobs, we'd get an email in the middle of the night that the resources were available, wake up, start submitting jobs, get our frames in between the windows of the visualization work. So we were able to use the computers to render out 4K in 1998. So 4K has been an old term for us. We're not very enamored by 4K at this point.
So talk to us about how the dome is built and how the video is projected, on the interior to create that 360 immersive experience.
What we do is it's actually a frame structure. So it's a pile of tubes, and we take the geodesic form, Buckminster Fuller's design, and just create this hemisphere that's made out of metal struts. On top of the metal struts, we cover it with one layer, which is called a blackout layer, and it's a cover for the exterior. It keeps weather out, keeps it warm inside. Then on the inside, we have a couple of different layers. So we've got a second blackout layer that acts as a vacuum seal, and then we've got another projection liner inside. So that between the three layers, we've got massive pieces of cloth. I mean, they're as much material as an air balloon. It's just as much material.
And so it's made out of cloth.
And they're made out of several different materials. So we've got vinyl. I'm using some polyester canvas and some other nylon-based materials as well that create the projection liner.
And so the video that's projected on the interior, how did you create that video? What's your process for making a movie that you're going to be showing on the interior? So
the process is actually, for this film, it was a little bit run and gun because we decided to shoot the film and do all the conceptual work simultaneously. And a lot of times you have a script before you start shooting. In this case, we had a concept and we chased the story through the experience. And so what we've done is we actually film using high resolution, the Red camera. We use the Red Epic Dragon chip. One of the amazing things about this medium is it's always pushing the threshold of technology. So whether it's the hardware or it's the cameras themselves, we're always at the bleeding edge of what's available in order to create this experience. So for this experience, it's no exception. We were using some of the finest glass we could get our hands on, the best and latest and greatest of the camera chips, and just really talented people behind the camera as well.
And so before you were even going to bring this here to the Balloon Museum, what inspired you to, do the hot air balloon flight and the chase crew to make a movie?
That's a good question. I used to come to the Balloon Fiesta a lot with my kids, and I remember just when the weather would turn or the balloons would deflate or they'd take off and the chase crews would go looking for following the balloons, we'd be stuck on the field and there wasn't a whole lot to do. So one of the things that I remember just looking around, carrying my kids around, was like, what are the activities that we've got on the field now that we're here? There wasn't a whole lot. And I started thinking about the balloon experience as being kind of an intangible thing for most people. As a spectator, most people are either afraid to go up, it's out of the price reach, or you don't have the connections to the pilots to be able to get up during the Balloon Fiesta. So I thought, well, why not create something that people who are either disabled or afraid or couldn't otherwise do it could experience flight. So let's and what better way than to actually immerse them in a 360-degree film? And if I had my way, I would actually have a motion platform below the dome as well,
really
so you could actually get that experience of motion as well. But there's still time. But this is the closest you'll come to being able to fly in an air balloon and be part of a crew that you can get.
So if people are interested in experiencing the dome during
Sure.
Balloon Fiesta, where is it going to be?
So it's going to be outside of the Balloon Museum, and we're going to be occupying a big piece of land there, right between the mountains and the museum. You can come out every morning. We start at 6 a.m., and we're going to be running the film on every 15-minute at every 15-minute interval. So there's plenty of chances to see this.
So you'll be here all day?
We'll be here all day.
Great. So if you wanted to go down to the field, you can do that and then you can come back up. Or even if you want to, avoid all the crowds down there and you want to check this out, you are here as early as 6 a.m.
I think that's that's the magic of this experience as well, is that if you don't feel like being in the crowds, you can come up here, experience this, have an amazing view of the field, and still just walk away with a great experience.
Great. Well, this sounds really amazing, and I think, for myself, I've never been in a balloon before, and we were talking about this a little bit before, but I've always wanted to do it, but I've kind of always chickened out a little bit. So I'm really excited to experience this and really see what it's the next best thing to actually being in a balloon.
Absolutely, and even just looking at the edit right now, we've been able to get that experience of flight, and there's some really amazing shots. One other thing that I didn't really get to talk about is that since this medium is immersive, it's a 360-degree experience, it also actually translates into the Oculus Rift experience. So there could and very well be a home version of this experience as well, so that, and we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the day, but this is something that can travel without actually leaving New Mexico. So.
Well, thank you very much, Joe.
Sure.
Thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing what you've got with the dome out on the Balloon Museum grounds.
Yeah, we're super excited by it. Please come out every 15 minutes, and we'll be running that film, and you'll be able to take a flight with the rest of the chase crew. It's Dawn Patrol, the 360-degree immersive experience.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you all. And visit the Balloon Museum during Balloon Fiesta this year, October 4th through the 12th, and check out the Dome Dawn Patrol Balloon Museum experience.